The 1971 Delta 88, 72, 73, 74, 75, and 1976 Delta 88 sits on the same platform as a Dunk. A Dunk, remember what I said now, it's a 1971 to 76 Impala or Caprice by default. Like, that's what everybody has agreed upon. Even the guys that race these things professionally have agreed that it's a 1971 to 76 Impala or Caprice. Whatever it was you were taught that is wrong, but hear me out now. This is where things get interesting. Even though they are not Dunks, they still share the same exact chassis as these other Dunks, because during these model years, GM basically shared the chassis amongst all their brands. So that's where you cool it. But let's talk about making more power, right? If you're talking about big rim racing, you need to get rid of that 305 small block Chevy, because the only way to make these things fast is if you push them off of Mount Everest. It's probably the fastest these things are ever going to be. It's at this point you need to look into LS Power. Now, if you want to start off cheaply, you need to look for a Gen 3, 4.8, 5.3, or 6.0. Literally gap the piston rings, better heads, cam, and throw boost at it, and it'll make 8 to 900 horsepower happily all day until you blow this thing up. Or you can just get a LQ460, stroke it to a 408 stroker, run a big single turbo and probably a nice little 150 shot of nitrous through a TH400 or a 2-speed power glide, a 4L80E. If you do a 4L60E, tread lightly. You're gonna have to build that thing. Once you figure out what type of drive shaft you want to run, whether it's steel or aluminum or carbon fiber or just the stock one if you want to, but I don't suggest you do that. You need to figure out what type of rear end you want to run. Do you want to run your stock one, just put better gears in it? Do you want to get a 4.9 inch? But let's face it, we love big rear ends, don't we? Now comes the wheel part. When you're picking your wheels, you can do Forgiato, you can do Corleone Forge, you can do all these others. But to be honest with you, I suggest you do Rucci, because Rucci get the coochie, in the words of the great Dunk Master. You can do 26 by 8 in the front. You can do 26 by 12 in the back, or 26 by 14. It all depends on you, but you need to keep in mind that the bigger the rear wheel, the more contact patch you have on the ground. Now let's talk about the slicks. You need to get your slicks from Black Flag Racing Products.